Maybe
Today
interesting.
there is potato with me.
Potato cannot see game.
एक second. All right. So why Civ picks? Civ picks by only Civ picks, no other picks. From
We have
Lanegan's team.
Beans on Jean d'Arc and Flabber on Juicy Legacy versus Grandmaster Canizaro. That's Pipe Runner on Ayubids and Lanegan on the English. So interesting Civ choices over there. Beans getting his hands on the Jean d'Arc pick. Jean d'Arc has been widely considered to be the most broken Civ on this patch. What are your thoughts on this, Mudgy Man?
John Dar picks. Okay. Yeah, she is the most broken, and I think Ayubit's going to have a hard time getting that third TCOs because she's going to get the boar and she's going to run for you. The stone is very exposed, you can see.
Yep, pretty. He
Yeah.
very forward stone, pretty much out, just outside the range of the TC there, I think. And Ayubids also received a couple of nerfs this patch, specifically targeted at the Gamba wing. So you cannot engage in human trafficking anymore at the Gamba wing, and the two villager option has been removed. So a
Potato.
bit of a weaker star for the Ayubids.
Yeah, potato is too professional for me. But look
Hey
at
man,
this. This is something new strategy.
what
Collecting
the
sheep near
hell?
the house. No. So
He just, I think that was just a run by drop off by
yeah,
Beans
that
over
was a
there,
run by.
saving some
But
saving some time.
I'm always expecting the unexpected from our players. So now here Zushi, Flabber has a big responsibility of not dying. And where's Lanegan? Okay, Lanegan is playing English. That was very surprising for me because usually he plays raiding civs like Mongol, French.
I don't know, man. Longbows can raid pretty well if you don't have horsemen, and Flabber does have a bit of a reputation of not making military in the feudal age.
Yeah, so I think English can be pretty crazy against this volley of what we call Chugnus, and it's very easy to snipe villages with the English longbows. So Flabber is definitely going to have a hard time. Beans will
Yep, and
have to assist
multiple
him.
landmarks.
Yeah,
Yeah, multiple landmarks are being thrown down. We see the School of Cavalry coming in for Beans, pretty much standard. The Council Hall and the Meditation Gardens going up. That
and
just leaves Canizaro, who is going up with the Economic Wing Industry.
yeah, economic wing industry. Let me see.
I have no idea which one that is.
Yeah, I have no idea about UBits. What is this? Upon completion, you get 300 wood.
What's interesting, so that's going to be an initial spike of wood. So
Yeah,
he might be looking to put down some production buildings immediately and maybe pump a few units to try and contest the map control that Jean d'Arc is going to try to get in the top side, but it might be rough. Jean d'Arc can be pretty hard to fight in these super early stages of the feudal age with how strong that unit is.
yeah, she completely shuts down your spears with her abilities, and also like she is super tanky. I think Pipe Runner is going to like Grandmaster is going to get the second TC as soon as possible with the 300 extra wood.
Yeah. We could possibly see some desert raiders coming out in the early game, I think, maybe to try and, you know, shut down the Jean
Yeah,
d'Arc there, because you cannot use knights to use the traditional combo of sending Jean d'Arc into her man at arms path and then using knights, and you can just have Jean d'Arc kill the spears when and you have knights just running around. That doesn't really work against desert raiders at all.
yeah, but John Dogs, she has been nerfed. The boar bonus is like 25 XP now. It was 50 XP before. So that's a
That
big
is,
nerf. Yeah, the
that's a
getting
pretty
level
big
2 is
enough.
tougher now. Yeah,
Yeah, that should delay her level 2 by about
yeah,
1 to 2 minutes, depending on how much fighting there is going on the map. And we do see a bunch of units jumping out. And did I see Jean d'Arc moving out on the map in villager
yeah.
form?
Where is she going? What's Jatin doing? Okay, he was just mining
Ew.
some stone, and he's going for the archer version.
Interesting. This
Was
could be a sort of adaptation to the fact that he is going to be playing up against the Ayubit. So maybe he wants to go for that archer instead. And, the single target divine shot would get him a lot of value if Canizaro does choose to go into expensive
yeah.
units like Desert Raiders.
On the other
And as
hand, we see
expected, we see
now.
the longbow rush coming in.
Yeah, so Lengen was planning to use the longbows to harass Flabber. Now
And it looks
he's
like Flabber has not put down a single military production building just yet.
yeah, Flabber is getting his second landmark and the archery range after that, so he can get the free unit. Smart, but like
So
it's too
Jugunu against crossbows, I don't really like
he's
that.
doing really some pro tactics here. Now the second TC for Ayubits. He needs a tower here. He has too many villages, and knights are already harassing him. See,
If
he's not
Jatan
paying
is going
attention.
to be looking to get some of those villager kills, and second TCs aren't really all that scary anymore. You can garrison only 7 villages,
Yeah,
and with the one range down, look at this. These villages are just going to be permanently idled by that one knight if he doesn't like
yeah. So I
produce
have
any
no
military
idea,
or
but
powers.
can you produce desert raiders from Grandma?
I do not think you can
Yeah,
unless you go
you
for
need
that.
stables, but Pipe Runner was saying
Oh, that's the one
he was
shot with the divine arrow.
yeah, he was saying he was
One night
really
off.
nervous, and now it's showing. He had to run with all his villagers this
And
long.
looks like one of the villagers is going to be out in the open trying to cross no man's land over there. The two TCs have been spread out quite far apart, and it looks like a bit. One longbow, one solitary longbow goes down to one horseman here on the bottom
Yeah,
side in
Flabber is now
Flabber's
fighting
face.
back, but I think Jatin is doing more on the other side. So
Jatin
now
does have to deal with the ticking time bomb of dealing with
I
two
must pay
TCs, but
attention to the current resources because Grandmaster can put a barrack here to get the spearmen not even stable. But
that's going to
like
be a knight diving the second TC. Is taking a decent amount of damage, but nothing too insane.
he's
Going to
losing a
idle.
lot of idols, yeah, and
That's
then he
two
lost.
villagers down over there. The knight does lose 70% of his HP, but is healed back to about 40% by John Dark's ability.
Yeah, she's
And
so
going to go for the wolf for the free 12 XP. So Grandmaster Canizaro seems to be maybe thinking to avoid giving Jean d'Arc XP by not going too much into military units, but I don't know how well that's going to work out against him because his second TC economy is just constantly idle at this point, and he's bleeding villagers right now.
yeah, he needs some spears and some camels to like he's getting far behind. Like he's just let me see his villager count. 29, and if I compare with beans it's 29. So like this second TC was more of a problem because now your extra villagers are just idle constantly.
Yeah, and he doesn't like. It wouldn't take a lot to shut this down. Probably just one or two desert raiders
Yeah,
could lift a lot of pressure. And more importantly, it might let him go on the aggressive. He could look to counter raid with those units and maybe turn the tables. And it looks like Jatin going in for another night
yeah, I
charge.
think he'll lose
Canizaro does
one
spot
night.
it out in time,
Yeah,
but
but this
it looks like the
downtime is
town center is firing on the other knight. The knight is taking damage. Do we have +1 armor on these knights? Yes, we do have
we do
plus
have
one
plus one, that's
armor.
why
So
it leaves. Yeah,
yeah. So Jatin
it is
identifies
leaving.
that Canizaro not going for any army is looking to try and defend just using static defenses, and the +1 going to be an amazing choice right there. And with the second TC not having its own arrow, each arrow is dealing about
Yeah, Flabber
Very low
certainly
damage,
took some
but plus one.
damage. He's 26 villagers while Leningen is 31 villagers. But I think he's definitely doing better than Grandmaster, who has an outpost here now. And just John Dark, all the knights are
Yeah,
moving.
he doesn't have to worry about the knights for at least a little while because they
Yeah,
are super low, and the rest of the knights here are occupied in trying to defend Flabber from Lane Gun's push. Lane Gun has pretty much gone unchecked this entire game, so he's been able to do whatever he wants. I do not
yeah,
really
he
like the
has a farm patch.
Zugano into the longbow. Zugano into
But
longbow,
I think he will lose this fight pretty badly. He does not
yeah,
have
not
spears.
enough spears, and
He
he's
should,
stuck here playing 2 versus 1.
yeah, he should just try to run away.
That's going to be kind of difficult with the slow speed of the long one. And this is kind of an issue with English in team games where if you go alone and you do not have support from your teammate, you might get caught out like this, and your longbows are
Yeah,
really,
I think he
really
will lose
slow.
every
So,
single longbow. Yeah.
yeah, so this is just extremely bad for the side of lane gun
Now,
because Canizaro has not been applying any pressure on the map
should
so
use
far.
the
So
spears
he's
though.
just
Now Jatin will back off after seeing the spears, but he's going to take one more longbow with him before he leaves. Grandmaster, yeah, he's stabilizing, but like Leningen is going to lose this also.
Yeah, he just ends up throwing the spears away. He needs to pull them back and use them just to defend against the knights versus just trying to run them down, which obviously doesn't work because the knights do happen to run faster than spears.
Yeah, and like Jatin is slowly massing an army and barely losing anything. I think he didn't lose a single knight.
He is not. I
Yeah,
think maybe lost one knight in that entire scuffle near Flabber's base, but overall, we haven't really seen him drop a single knight. And Canizaro has had some free time during all of this to kind of stabilize, but
yeah, he still
47
has no
economy.
military to do anything. Like he cannot raid, while Jatin is like defending already with two knights. So right now, the only smart decision I think can is if somebody is aging up, or this is a research. I think he's aging up.
That does seem to be an age up, and
Yeah,
Canizaro
yeah,
is looking to go into the culture
yeah.
wing,
So I was just
get a
saying
bunch
that
of extra
what he can do right now is just age up and try to get stronger units. Maybe you can he can use that to turn the game around because he is
a big,
definitely.
huge Jugeno mouse coming in over here. Lane gun should be fine against the Jugeno if he is able to protect his spears and uses his range advantage to actually kite back instead of just fighting man to man, mano el mano.
Yeah,
But
he needs
we'll
to
have to
back
see if
off
he
now.
actually can.
He needed outpost, but he needed to speed build it. Now he's under pressure. He's also going to get idols. Lost maybe 3 villages now. So Flavor took some revenge there.
Yeah, we do see two villagers going down in that fight. Falabat took a couple of long losses, and that's like one of the strengths of the longbow is they can pick off a few units every time you try to retreat back. But it looks like the knights are going to look for another charge. Lane gun is does not respond in time, but Jatin cancels the charge, and two villagers end up surviving. Interesting.
Yeah, Jatin at this point, I think, does not wants to lose his knights. He wants to maintain his mass, and
Actually, huge mistake over here. The Jugenu have been left alone, so
yeah,
if Lengan
this
tries to
could be a
capitalize, he could.
possible chase down.
Yeah, I don't think the longbows can actually chase them down, but if he had identified that the knights are separated from the Jugenu earlier, he could have looked to force a fight there and pick off maybe like 5 to 10 in Jugenu there, which would have been super useful. But it looks like Flabber is not sending any more units to this front line, and they're going to leave Lengan alone for a while. Meanwhile, Canizaro seems to have gone for some pretty big walls trying to shut down the night pressure, but Beans already has a couple of knights just
Yeah,
hovering
he's
around.
trying
And
to always idle him as much as possible. Also, I think Beans now has a second TC, or did he just still doesn't have a second
he
TC?
is picking up a bunch of stones, so probably looking to add
Yeah.
in that second TC
So
later, but
Canizaro is now,
nothing so far.
yeah, he's taking the opportunity to attack Beans. He knows half of the army is here. But let's see if he's able to pressure Beans.
Quite a few knights end up going. Are those camel lancers or just normal?
Camel
They are
lances.
camel lancers. So huge losses on both sides, honestly. Canizaro losing a bunch of camel lancers, but also ends up taking
Yeah,
down a
not
fair
like he
few
has
royal
a
knights.
massive eco lead. He's just a few villages ahead.
Yeah, he has been constantly losing villagers on this southern side of his base. His second TC is not really well
So
protected, and
Lane
knights
is
are constantly.
yeah, Lane is here pressuring Flabber once more, and Flabber has a lot of Zugnus. I think if he takes a state of fight, Flabber might just clean this army.
I don't think he cleans that up because the longbow can just kite them with their two range, and this Jugono, it's
Yeah.
hard for them to line up and just
So like you will
constantly
have to
DPS like
either
crazy.
come from here. Yeah,
If
it
he
will still
gets
be tough. Yeah, it will still be
But
tough.
this is extremely risky for Lenegan because Canizaro doesn't have a lot of pressure on the map right now, and we could see a repeat of what happened around the 8 to 9 minute mark, where a bunch of knights just show up from Beans and they're able to clean up Lenegan's entire military force. But so far, it seems that Beans is focusing his attention on Canizaro for the most part. That does mean that this landmark will be going down pretty soon, and we are not going to see the bald men make their way out on the map just yet,
Yeah,
unless
and one more thing is like Leningen took a lot of time to make ramps. He could actually get like these two buildings by now if he had the ramps little sooner. And now he's also getting idols here, and the villages are exposed. He has no tower in the base.
these are castle age knights, so they literally do not care about town center
Yeah,
fire. Luckily for him, he has a couple of barracks over there, and Canizaro is going to at least move out here to try and protect his allies' economy. Meanwhile, veteran upgrades are going to come in for Flabber. Lengan, meanwhile, is still playing with a feudal army, so the longbow the feudal longbow should be able to trade with the Shugonu, but it would require him to micro pretty well
yeah,
and make sure that he is maintaining that spacing between those longbows and those Shugenu. And this, I do not really like this ram push. Like,
yeah. At this point,
I
even
don't
if you
think he
trade
can.
favorably, you are not going to gain anything. And I think
He needs to move
Flavor
around
will win this
maybe
fight.
and try and yeah, he needs to move around and deny resources, try to
Yeah.
choke Flabber out because
See,
Beans is
something
not.
really
Never
strange
mind
is
that.
coming around. And once
Something
more,
big is coming.
this is a crazy army. You have 17 spears, enough to deal with the knights. But thing is,
But
with
not
this
in the
massive
mid
Jugunu
money.
support, these guys,
He needs to safely retreat here and
yeah,
use the spears to kind of make sure that he does not get collapsed. But it looks like he's going to just straight up take this fight. The knights are taking a lot of damage, but the spear numbers
yeah, he
are
should have
dropping
just tried to run
extremely
back.
fast, and this is going to be a cleanup.
Yeah, he should have just tried to run back using the spears as shield. It's possible. He could do it. It's not too far away. He will lose some army, but he can retreat. But now, Lengan is pressured back. He's still age 2. Has no eco to age up. Canizaro stabilized, but Beans is, I think, already ahead now. Okay, so Beans is up close. I think 66, 56, 57 French villagers with John Dark and the bonuses you have. Like, I think this is already better than Ayubi's eco.
How many villages does he have?
Like 58 villagers.
That's not an advantage. We have a couple of spearmen coming in from Canizaro, and his camel lancers looks like they're finally going to pa- try and assist Lengan over here. And now they're going to try and form a defensive front over here. Lengan is like extremely behind right now. He has
Yeah, they
invested
are
a
two
lot
ahead in
into
the army.
feudal age.
This is
Yeah,
almost
he
a
is.
double army of this, and this fight should never have happened.
So Jugunu are simply going to just shred those units in the front line,
This
and
fight should never have happened, man. Lengan should have just tried to age up now, turtling and aging up, getting the crossbows or something.
the only thing that could possibly get them a win right now, and it looks like Rengan is going to
Yeah,
tap
Lengan
out
is
here.
going to tap
GG is
out.
being called.
He sees that Beans is like now in his god mode, and you have no chances. The walls are all over the place. There
Yeah,
is
pretty
no.
much the worst scenario to get stuck in fighting against a level 3 Jeanne d'Arc
Yeah,
when you are still stuck in the feudal age. probably not the best.
So Beans already is leading in food and almost the same in gold, and plus he had the John Dark discount. So
Yep, and I think the big takeaway here is Lingard not really respecting the fact that Beans could have at any time just turned his attention away from Canizaro and chosen to go after him instead. And that's what happened twice, and he immediately just lost so much military
yeah,
off
he
of that.
lost the military like twice. He could still stabilize if he had kept his military alive. Maybe there was a chance with the White Tower or maybe even the King's Palace. Like you could defend, but now let's see if they go for the next game.